What about us?
We'll always have Paris.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most amazing, effective, and/or iconic endings to fantastic films. Spoilers ahead for the following movies.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Number 20, Handshake, Heat. Breaking his own rules, Neil McCauley decides to postpone his vacation and hunt down the sadistic Waingro.
Why don't we just talk about this a bit, huh, brother?
This forces him to abandon his love interest, Edie, and sets up a final confrontation with his rival, Vincent Hanna. Director Michael Mann puts both men on an intense chase, sending them to LAX at night. The cat and mouse game features some heart-pounding thrills that lead up to Macaulay's defeat. It's an exciting and effective scene, but Mann goes one step further by exploring the characters' complicated psyches.
Told you I'm never going back.
Hanna joins his nemesis for one final moment of mutual respect. Accompanied by some beautiful music, Heat closes out on an emotional high note. Number 19, Hypnotized, Oldboy. Featuring surprises around every corner, Park Chan-wook's mysterious thriller forces audiences to confront all kinds of taboos. Oh Dae-soo fights his way to answers about his captivity and ultimately realizes a shocking truth.
넌 진짜 이유가 뭔 줄 알아? 그건 말이야. 그냥 잊어버린 거야. 왜? 싱거운가요? 하지만 사실이야.
He's been tricked by villain Wee Woo-jin to fall for his daughter, Mido, with a finale following this earth-shattering reveal. The hero hopes to hypnotize himself into forgetting everything. With the final shot, Choi Min-sik's incredible work makes you question the lead character's ultimate fate. This head-scratching ending also leaves you wanting to ponder the horror and surprises you've witnessed. It's full of psychological devastation, not letting the viewer off easy in its dramatic send-off. Number 18, Where Is My Mind? Fight Club. By the end of this trippy adventure, the narrator comes to realize that he's been pulling double duty the whole time.
Say it. Because... Say it. Because we're the same person.
That's right.
His connection to Tyler Durden sends him spiraling into confusion about existence itself. The wild twist sets up the darkly humorous ending, showing the main character at a crossroads in life. Project Mayhem's bombs go off as Edward Norton's hero and Marla watch with mixed emotions.
Marla, look at me. I'm really okay.
Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine.
To add to this iconic image, director David Fincher includes a Pixies song to sum up the movie's cerebral themes. We couldn't ask for a better way to send off this generational film. Number 17, Friendly Dinner, The Silence of the Lambs. Receiving help from Hannibal Lecter, FBI trainee Clarice Starling tracks down serial killer Buffalo Bill. She succeeds in her mission after her inmate helper escapes custody. The exciting story then sets up one last teaser, leaving us with a thrilling cliffhanger.
Have the lambs stopped screaming?
Dr. Lecter.
Don't bother with the trace. I won't be on long enough.
Starling receives a call from Lecter that's more than a little menacing. While alluding to his next victim, the villain doesn't give much away before hanging up.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
It's a terrifying conversation that leaves the hero spooked. The Silence of the Lambs doesn't cut to the credits until it dishes out one more scare, with the antagonist off to find another meal. Number 16, Smiling Shark, Jaws. After losing their boat captain, Chief Martin Brody and oceanographer Matt Hooper struggle to survive a killer shark. The thrilling scene builds until a scuba tank reaches the villain's mouth. Director Steven Spielberg lets the tension bubble up under the water's surface, keeping viewers on the edge of their seat. Brody takes aim with a rifle, hitting the tank and causing the target to explode.
Fire, you son of a...
It's an amazing spectacle that ends one of the best blockbusters ever made. Spielberg has the ability to hold the audience in the palm of his hand, putting you right at the center of some unforgettable action. Number 15, Waking Up, No Country for Old Men. Sheriff Ed Tom Bell doesn't end up saving the day in this Cormac McCarthy adaptation. By the end, he retires and contemplates his future.
How'd you sleep?
I don't know. Had dreams.
Well, you got time for them now. Anything interesting?
This includes describing his dreams to his wife and exploring a fascinating side of his character. He imagines a scenario where his father guides the way for him, alluding to his complex relationship to his family and destiny. It's an unexpected way to end a film that subverts our expectations about heroes and villains.
In the dream, I knew that he was going on ahead. He's fixing to make a fire somewhere out there and all that dark and all that cold.
Tommy Lee Jones's subtle performance only adds to these last few minutes, sending the audience away with many fascinating questions. Number 14, Forgetting It, Chinatown. Tracing the roots of city corruption and broken families, Private Eye Jake Gittes then watches all of his hopes crumble.
You're under arrest, Jake.
Good news.
Withholding evidence, extortion, accessory after the fact.
I didn't extort nothing from nobody, Lou. This is Noah Cross, if you don't know. Evelyn's father, if you don't know. He's the bird you're after, Lou.
He witnesses Evelyn Mulray and her sister try and fail to escape the clutches of their awful dad. The classic noir doesn't let up as the dominoes begin to fall fast. With the older sibling dead, the surviving one is carted away by the evil Cross. Gittes can't do anything to save anyone anymore in one of the legendary downer endings. His partner delivers a quotable line, forcing the detective to walk away from a terrible tragedy.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
Chinatown hits you with one more gut punch before its troubling and haunting finish. Number 13, The Sound of Silence, The Graduate. Before the ending of this classic, Ben Braddock's life appears to be gradually falling apart. His last-ditch effort to stop Elaine Robinson's wedding comes with a few obstacles. It's daring, somewhat dashing, and completely insane.
Where's that guy? What's he doing? Take care of him. He's too late.
The chaotic climax feels like a burst of deeply felt emotions, rebellion, and humor. Braddock and Robinson flee the oppressive establishment, only to end up on a bus together. They soon consider their brash decisions in an open-ended moment. Is this couple just another flash in the pan, or do they really have a future together?
In restless dreams I walk alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
The beauty of this Mike Nichols film is that you can keep debating the end forever. Number 12, Final Goodbye, The Truman Show. With a hunch that something about his life is off, Truman Burbank finally escapes in a boat to learn the truth. His sailing trip reaches the end of his fake world in a colorful metaphor for his life. Burbank then talks to the producer, Christoph, about his ultimate fate. Jim Carrey offers up one of his finest performances, playing a man desperate to understand his upbringing. His character chooses to exit the stage and embrace a new reality. It's a momentous change for the hero, empowering us all to reconsider our own lives and media consumption.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The enthralling story comes to a close with the world watching close as Philip Glass's triumphant score plays. Number 11, Norma's Close-Up, Sunset Boulevard. Screenwriter Joe puts up with Norma Desmond long enough, but eventually tells her the truth about her failed film career.
The audience left 20 years ago, now face it.
That's a lie! They still want me!
No, they don't.
Desmond takes out her aggression on her guest with a gun. It's a stunning turn of events, letting people know the real reason the hero is lying in a pool. The former starlet then reveals her deteriorating mental state. Surrounded by police and press, the actress milks one last moment of attention in a tragic downfall. Sunset Boulevard brilliantly skewers the inflated egos of Hollywood players, with this ending bringing down one of the more iconic fictional performers ever.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Director Billy Wilder lets Gloria Swanson command the screen in her signature performance, wrapping up an extraordinary tragedy with style. Number 10, All Is Well, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. What doesn't happen at the end of this sequel? The fate of Middle-earth falls into the hands of Frodo, with the Hobbit eventually doing the right thing. Sauron and his minions are defeated thanks to the courageous efforts of the Fellowship and their allies. Tolkien's classic saga comes together thanks to an incredible collection of creative artists. It's almost a miracle that this kind of trilogy was done justice at all, given the proper send-off to beloved fantasy characters. Peter Jackson leaves no stone unturned, as he follows the main cast through an extended epilogue.
You finished it. Not quite. There's room for a little more.
Some might call it too much, but many fans appreciate the detail and care that the director gives this classic material. Number 9, The Standoff, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. As the director of the Dollars trilogy, Sergio Leone specializes in giving audiences well-crafted set pieces. This might be his finest work in the culmination of an incredible franchise. The three title men assemble to determine their fates and fight for gold. Leone chooses to make this conclusion extra special, staging a standoff that's one of the more tension-filled sequences ever filmed. He utilizes Ennio Morricone's legendary music and extreme close-ups to get his point across. When it's all said and done, the man with no name rides off while Tuco seems lucky to be alive.
Seems just like old times. 4 for you. 4 for me.
In terms of Western genre filmmaking, it doesn't get much more epic or iconic than this ending. Number 8. Star Child, 2001: A Space Odyssey. This space epic isn't exactly the easiest to understand. Director Stanley Kubrick's collaboration with writer Arthur C. Clarke takes you to Jupiter, with Dave discovering unknown limits of the universe. The astronaut's spaceflight takes him to a mysterious room where he ages before seeing the monolith. It's a sequence full of abstract visuals and compelling surprises, building up to the final image of the hero as a floating fetus. Kubrick's vision questions humanity's existence and future in one of the most grandiose endings of its kind. Delivering a high watermark for sci-fi, the filmmaker leaves viewers speechless in this exquisitely mysterious finale. Number 7. Rosebud, Citizen Kane. Despite his best efforts, reporter Jerry Thompson can't seem to crack Charles Foster Kane's final words.
Rosebud.
The central mystery of this movie then reveals itself in one of Hollywood's classic endings. As workers burn Kane's possessions, a sled named Rosebud goes up in flames. Little does anyone know, the man's last thoughts were about his childhood. This revelation gives tremendous insights into the character's tragic tale.
I don't think any word can explain a man's life. No, I guess Rosebud is just a piece in a jigsaw puzzle.
Orson Welles' masterpiece leaves the audience pondering, creating a nuanced portrait of a man we only think we know. It's yet another reason this film is regarded among the greatest ever made. Number 6. Losing His Soul, The Godfather Part II. In the exceptional first film, Michael Corleone takes control in a powerful final shot.
That Corleone.
The Godfather Part II sends Michael into a personal hell, culminating with a devastating ending where he has his brother Fredo killed. The mob boss considers his actions while a flashback shows the younger Corleone announcing his entry into the Marines. It represents a bygone and innocent era for the main character, giving him one last memory as he sits alone. The imagery here insinuates that only dark days remain for the troubled boss. One of cinema's best sequels comes to a close with a somber reflection and one of the greatest hero-turned-villains ever. Number 5. Finished, There Will Be Blood. Daniel Plainview finishes out this movie with a lot of money, but at the cost of nearly everything else that matters. His nemesis, Eli Sunday, visits him with a proposition that only prompts him to get revenge.
Say it like you mean it, Daniel. Say it like it's your sermon.
After forcing Sunday to renounce his beliefs, the anti-hero unleashes a verbal assault to rival any cinematic speech. Daniel Day-Lewis's Oscar-winning transformation goes full throttle with blood-curdling results. Plainview throws his enemy down the bowling alley, eliminating the preacher once and for all.
I am the third revelation. I am the third revelation.
It's not exactly a happy ending, but one that's certainly jaw-dropping. There Will Be Blood continues to provoke viewers while showing them what greed can do to a man. Number 4. Dedication, Schindler's List. Oskar Schindler protects his Jewish workers from going to concentration camps, but after the war, he must flee because of his connections to the Nazi Party.
We've written a letter trying to explain things in case you were captured. Every worker has signed it.
His final goodbye is among the more moving scenes in the last half-century. Liam Neeson's performance expertly captures a man that's full of regrets. Steven Spielberg lets the beautiful moments settle before setting up the transition to the 1990s, where some of the real Schindler Jews appear alongside the cast. The somber end pays tribute to a troubled figure that found courage to help others, with Neeson getting the chance to lay roses at Schindler's grave. Spielberg's vision brings together the past and present, combining them for this inspiring conclusion. Number 3. Wouldn't Hurt a Fly, Psycho. At the end of Alfred Hitchcock's groundbreaking thriller, the remaining characters figure out the terrifying truth about Norman Bates. It's a shocking reveal that comes after a film full of frightening surprises. Once Bates is arrested, the authorities evaluate his mental state as he sits alone in a holding cell. His mind then wanders as his mother's voice takes over in a horror conclusion for the ages.
They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even going to swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know.
The creepy voiceover haunts viewers, teasing them with the notion of the villain's personalities competing for power. Anthony Perkins' evil grin sells his character's twisted fate in a chilling finale. Number 2, A Beautiful Friendship, Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart delivers perhaps his finest work here, working alongside incredible performers like Ingrid Bergman and Claude Rains. Despite still having feelings for her, Bogart's Rick Blaine helps Bergman's Ilsa Lund escape Casablanca without joining her.
If that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
It's a heart-wrenching and romantic moment that's only one part of this iconic finale. The hero watches the love of his life prepare to fly away before killing Major Strasser to keep the flight safe. Captain Renault then helps Blaine get away, with the two hinting at a friendship in the last enjoyable exchange.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
It's only in this kind of classic Hollywood story that you can have heartbreak, thrills, and classic lines in one sequence.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Reuniting with Andy, The Shawshank Redemption. Following years of torment, Andy Dufresne finds his way to freedom. All that's left to wrap things up is a dramatic reunion with Red, his friend from prison. Red achieves parole, follows his buddy's instructions, and heads for Mexico. Both characters have been through a lot, and it's only fair they get their happy ending. On a beach in Mexico, the two find each other on a beautiful day. You'll likely be crying tears of joy as the pair reunite. Frank Darabont's brilliant adaptation of Stephen King's story features many high points, which all lead to one of the most satisfying conclusions ever. What incredible ending did we forget? Let us know in the comments below.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.